Grandmaster Lee has been doing martial arts for over 40 years now. He is the headmaster of MuSoolWon, located in Austin, Texas. And he'd like to now introduce and show you some of our students.
Watching her. Yeah. Hello. Stop it in the head. Bring it. Hello.
All right, we've done our official bow in now, and we'd like to start our demonstration with some warm-up exercises.
Left over right.
As I said, the idea of MuSoolWon has been around since the ancient times in Korea. Most of what we do is built upon what some of the ancient warriors in Korea did. It's a modern martial art, though it was founded just recently, but its roots are in ancient Korea. What you're seeing now is some of the warm-ups we do in preparing to clash. You'll notice they look a little bit like yoga. For a purpose, they are. Yoga is also a martial art. But you'll also notice that we have a lot of entire families here. We have a lot of older persons like myself, as well as young children. This is a martial art for everyone. Master Lee has been teaching this martial art for over 40 years now. He is a worldwide recognized expert in breaking and in double sword form, which you'll see later. We provide instruction 6 days a week for all ages and all abilities. We don't just want to take students that are interested in fighting, we want to take students that are interested in all aspects of martial arts. And we have a program and a curriculum for everyone. Master Lee's designed the curriculum and teaches the curriculum, including all of the classes, in a way to get the best out of every person there is. We believe that martial arts is for everyone, and that there's a place for everyone in martial arts. If you might be interested in participating in martial art, we do have some pamphlets available, and just ask any of our black belts. We're the guys that do for you guys. So we'll be glad to help you all we can. Right now we're doing ki exercises. You might be familiar with the term ki. It's a Chinese term. The Korean term is ki. The exercises here are designed to bring out our ki energy, the internal energy in all of us to help us do better in our demonstration for you today.
Shoulder crossing knee. Big. Shisha. just going to roll over one time. Up. Two. See. Hey. Us. Us. Put it on your feet. Hey. Hit it. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, now that we finished our little warm-up, we want to show you the first form that we learned. Form you might be also used to the Japanese term kata. It's a choreographed series of movements designed to either provide a meditative technique or a fighting technique. In this case, it's a fighting technique. This is the first form that we learn at the black belt or beginner level.
Already did.
The idea of this form is to show fighting techniques against multiple attackers in multiple sides. So it's not just one or two people in front of you, they're from all directions. Now, MuSoolWon is primarily a self-defense martial art, meaning it's not aggressive, it's defensive. But we do most of this defense by using joint locks and joint manipulations, as you're seeing here, where we put a great deal of weight against the small part of a joint to get our opponent to do what we want them to do, which in this case is generally to go on the ground. And as you can see, we have a technique for almost every occasion. You'll also notice that we have one very large gentleman, one smaller one. You do not have to be big, strong, and bulky to be a good martial artist. Some of the best martial artists are very small. Our martial art actually comes from three different areas, the easiest way to describe it. In this case, we're showing you part of the martial art that came from our Buddhist temple martial arts tradition, meaning that we took the weapon that's being used from the Buddhist monks. The monks in their travels throughout Korea and northern China had taken a vow to never take a life but needed to protect themselves. So they came up with the use of what we call a junbon. It also might be a walking staff. But if you'll notice, we use the weapon both defensively and offensively in the same move. The spinning motions that you see allow us to gain speed and power. We call it Q1 quad. Soft circular motions like water. Now, two of our Danbo Nims, or black belts in training, are going to show us a form that is taught at the red belt level called Gogapyeon. This is the form where we introduce, large manner spinning motions. It's one thing if you're spinning to just be able to spin and stop. It's another to be able to spin and then do something afterwards. This form allows us to teach that principle. Oh. Now at the first degree black belt level, we learn another form which you're about to see called Bakagi-kyan. The loose translation of this form, because this is a purely meditative form, is the meditation on the 101 miseries of life. This is the longest and the most athletic form we have to date for our black belts. And having done this several hundred times, I can tell you after a while you can actually pick out each of the 101 miseries of life. The Buddhist monks, where this form also comes from, use forms as a meditation as well as an athletic ability, to gain athletic ability. After hours and hours of seated meditation, they needed some form of exercise. They would use the form, or as you see this, in order to do that exercise, as well as continue their meditation. Now you've seen how we do techniques. You've seen the forms that we do. This really isn't any fun though until you can put it into some practice, which you're about to see now. Remember, we're primarily a defensive art. You're about to see some of the young ladies in our school defend themselves, and defend themselves well. And while these may be highly choreographed, they're very illustrative of what you can really do with martial arts. And you'll see a variety of the techniques, kicks, and punches that we do. And again, proving you don't have to be big and strong to win. Just ask any of these guys. Oh, that's going to hurt. No, really nail it now. At the second degree level, we start learning dual weapons. So before then, we'll learn one danbong. You're about to see one of our third degree black belts do two danbongs. The idea of using double weapons is that one weapon defends while the other attacks. Oh. Now you've already heard and saw one of our areas of martial arts. You're now about to see another area, and this is the Royal Court martial arts. A lot of MuSoolWon takes our practicing from the Royal Court's martial art tradition of Korea. In this case, you're seeing a form that is learned at the black belt level called Gummakyung. It developed out of the last Japanese occupation of Korea around 1914. The Japanese outlawed the use of edged weapons. But the martial artists, particularly the Royal Court guards, needed to be able to practice. What you're seeing is an open-handed form of using two short swords. The short swords were used because they could be held and concealed in the folds of the clothing that the Royal Court guards wore. They developed this form in that time period so that they could practice the use of that weapon.